Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at BIM360 Design as a possible solution to be working from home. Obviously with users having to react to this new working environment, looking for as many options as possible, and BIM360 Design is a good entry point. Basically facilitate your Revit workflows in the cloud, provide everybody an easy access point, and get your projects moving as quickly as possible. So just to talk through the scenario that we're kind of trying to apply this against, really typically we think of, this being a good option for maybe new projects that are coming up that would have, previously been hosted on Revit server or wide area network. But now with everybody working from home, obviously there's some limitations in the setup. The access points vary. So BIM360 Design is a very easy entry point, basically allowing users into that project, into that model, get up and running as quickly as possible. So in this video, we'll walk through a couple of options, really the first of which, under the assumption that you're just starting up a BIM360 trial. Autodesk is offering this for an extended period of time with all these new working conditions everybody's dealing with. So we'll go through the setup of the trial environment, a couple best practices there, but then we'll also talk to it in the framework that, maybe you already use BIM360 Design for some project, but now you're having to migrate most of your projects, if not all of your projects, over. You're providing access in many cases to a lot more users. So also being able to take advantage of that trial environment, while also being able to take advantage of, capturing all that data in your current account. So we'll walk through those two scenarios in this video. So guys, the first thing I want to point out is, the access point or the website for Autodesk Extended Access Program for BIM360 Design. It's basically being offered for free up until the end of May. So really this trial site, I'll drop a link in the description of this video, but really it is as simple as going in and filling out all your information for this BIM360 Design trial. One thing I do want to point out, right, it is probably a best practice if you're trying to set this up for your entire company, just to have one specific person go through this motion. I'll go through the exact steps to fire up the account side of things and provide everybody access. But it is important to note that, with setting up one trial per company, you can include multiple users in that trial together, so you don't have to duplicate a lot of different account instances. So here, guys, just for example, I've filled in all my information. I'm ready to start this trial. I'm just going to go ahead and click try for free, and I'll walk through the setup as this demo persona for you guys. So you guys will see after you fill in your information, you're going to get receive an email in your inbox. I'm going to click on over. Really, that's going to ask me to activate my BIM360 account. So I'm just going to click activate account. It gives me a couple different walkthroughs in terms of self-learning. Definitely recommend checking out some of these add-ons or pop-ups to walk you through the system. Any updates will automatically be posted as well. For the sake of time, right, I'm just going to skip ahead through this in getting started. Really, the first step you need to do to invite or bring people into your trial account environment is really go over to projects and start a project environment, right? So for sake of example, I'm just going to put demo, and I'm going to hit save and continue. There's a couple required fields that you'll have to fill in. I'm not going to go through all of this for now. We're just going to run through this very quickly. I'm going to provide, let's see, AP demo persona. Just activating the services. Basically, I'm going to need to have document management as well as design collaboration activated. So AP demo persona. And as soon as document management activates, this design collaboration module will actually be available to activate. So it was spinning out, it's now active. Now I can hit activate for design collab. And essentially for this project environment, I'm now good to go. So if I click in on this actual project, you guys will notice it jumps me to project admin, where I was just now was in account admin for my trial site. But now I'm getting very project focus, right? So in this scenario, let's assume this is my first pass ever setting up anything in BIM360, and I'm looking to host my projects. It really is as easy as going in and adding all your project members, anybody that needs to participate in this trial with you. So typically those are going to be Revit users that are in Revit on a day-to-day, need to synchronize to models. You'd basically be adding in their email addresses here. After it's infilled, you can hit select and manage the services that they have access to. What it should look like on the back end, just for everybody's context, they should have access to this design collaboration module. And just for sake of example here, I'll go ahead and drop myself in with my Autodesk ID, and I'll hit select. What you should be providing your users access to is also this design collaboration module as a member. So you can fill in their company information, their role if need be, but essentially when you add them to the project, this is basically what services in BIM360 they're going to have access to. So after I've added my member list to my actual project, the next step I need to do to get them participating in the trial with me is to go under services and then click in on design collaboration. I highly recommend you guys check out a few of the other videos that I posted in this article, but really it'll allow you to manage teams inside of BIM360. So here again, I'm under services, under design collaboration, and really you should think of a strategy around adding teams, and essentially what teams relate to in terms of BIM360. I like to think of them in terms of discipline primarily. So architecture would be a team, mechanical would be a team, structural, you guys get the picture. It's just an easy way to organize out the scopes of works within a project, organize out models. It's kind of a general pass. You can definitely customize whatever's going to fit your needs, but just in general terms, that's the way I like to start off a project. So for example, I'll add architecture here, and that's basically going to create a team, or actually a folder in my document management project. After that's completed, the last step I need to do to actually get people fired off in this trial environment is essentially going in and clicking in on this specific team, going under manage team members, and then adding the specific users that need access to, say, this architectural folder into this team environment. Now there's other permissions I can add to them that relate back to, again, design collaboration workflows. Again, highly encourage you guys to look at some of the other video resources that are available here, but just know that the last step here is adding these trial users into this environment that will basically fire off the free trial on their individual user environment as well, and provide them access to the location where you're ultimately hosting your Revit models, which would be in this architectural folder that I just created. So just to take a look at what this looks like in terms of my actual project, if I skip over and go to my document management site, so again, my project environment that I'm now going to be looking at, you guys will see that now that I've just created that one team, I have architecture as a folder, and within it, it has a consume folder that is system default. And I also have a shared folder location that essentially duplicates my team structure. Again, highly recommend you guys take a look at some of the other workflow videos. That will kind of give a better understanding of why those specific subfolders are created within the system. After you've gone through the steps of adding your trial users into this project, adding them to the appropriate services under design collaboration, and adding them into a team environment, a good check to see if the free trial has started up correctly on the end user's end is have them go ahead and sign into their Autodesk account. Really, this is going to provide them access of an access point of what services they have access to. They'll see all their base tools that they typically would have here, but you also will see that they have a trials tab here. And if you click in on trials, essentially if they're signed up correctly or you've added them correctly in the system, each individual user should see BIM360 Design under this trial environment with the amount of days that they have left. Again, this runs out at the end of May currently in terms of our terms. So that's just a good check to make sure that everything got fired up correctly. The last situation I want to point out, the steps in this video are exactly what you need to do to have the trial start up for every user you're trying to involve for, say, your company whole trial, right? You might have 10, you might have 5, you might have 100 users that are trying to interact with this trial. Every single user has to be added to the services and the teams like I walked through in this video. Another thing to point out, some customers actually have paid accounts but are trying to add additional users in this trial environment. In those scenarios, you do actually have to have one person, again, fire up that trial account, the same steps in this video, go through creating a project, create the teams, invite all your trial users to that project. You don't actually have to host a model or anything within it, but when you add them to those teams and that project, it automatically triggers something in our system that fires up this BIM 360 trial. So you will have access to 2 accounts if you're actually getting invited into your paid project. That's fine. That's a limitation of the trial environment we have today, but at least it gets you an easy access point to get into the software, start using it for free, start being productive, and execute on your projects. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments. I'll try to address them as they come up, and yeah, really appreciate it.